Barack Obama and Joe Biden. Again, they got to be a team. We have all this type of ideological and geographic diversity, age diversity, race diversity. Like, we see this. And Joe Biden understands now that he's at the top of the ticket. You know, if he chose another old white dude, I mean, it would just be death to his campaign, because we want youth. We want this contrast. We need a contrast. Now, do I think he's going to choose a black woman?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, see, that's the thing, right?
I don't know.
He should choose a black woman. I would love to see him choose a black woman. It would make me more interested.
Choose a black woman.
No, he said he was going to choose a woman.
No, first time he said it, he said he was going to choose a black woman. Then he said a woman. The very first time he said it, he said black woman. And we don't really talk about that conversation.
I wonder if Joe starts to feel like, and the people around him start to feel like, how many more black people can we get to vote for us? I'm already killing it with black people throughout the primary. How much more can we max out on that group versus if we pull in a white person and try to push that number higher? That
black general election vote is not guaranteed with disenfranchisement, first of all. But second of all, we know that Trump is going to do what he did with Hillary Clinton. He's going to, and I think this is my concern, that if there's a Biden-Kamala, we know that the negative ads with the Trump people are already going to write themselves. Joe Biden crime bill, Kamala Harris top cop. And that will suppress the black male vote, even by 7 or 8%, which will be enough for Donald Trump, because we know that black women, for the most part, are immune to his shenanigans. Black men are not. And if you can suppress the vote in key places like Michigan and Wisconsin, yet again, and even Pennsylvania, Donald Trump can win, even with the economy being what it is, even with this abysmal rollout of COVID-19. He knows that. And so if you can, it's not even about like black women, we know that black people, all of our ideological diversity, 90% of it in presidential elections is trapped in the Democratic Party. But if you can convince people to stay home because they're not excited, then that's how Republicans win. And so you need someone to excite them beyond Joe Biden. And that's what Tim Kaine did not provide at all.
I love Kamala. She did not light black people on fire in the primary at all.
No, or young people.
So if the idea is to pick Kamala to motivate black voters, does that seem logical?
No, it doesn't seem logical to me, but that's my fear, that the Democratic Party will do that, thinking, oh, she's black, she'll get black voters. And it's like, if you look at public opinion data, there are a lot of, especially younger black voters, and just kind of black male voters, they really struggle with her. And I think also, going back to my original thesis of you need someone in campaign and governance. Do I think she's brilliant? Absolutely. Do I think that she would be ready January 23rd, 2021? Absolutely. However, I don't know how she would do in an internet campaign phase, because she really did struggle with connecting with certain portions of the black population. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that her mom's Indian. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it's a personality thing where it would be very difficult for her to connect with a lot of black voters. But I worry that the Tom Perez's of the party will just say like, oh, we need a black person, let's choose Kamala, and not think through the complexities of what black voters need and want to hear. Now, granted, is it unfair that Kamala is held to different standards than her white colleagues who were also prosecutors? Absolutely. You know, there's race, there's gender, there are all these things that are going on. But if we want to win, we have to be very realistic about how we know the black electorate behaves, because we are the keepers of the Democratic Party and democracy.
At the risk of reaching back further in this conversation, which I want to avoid doing, I want to try to push forward a little bit. If candidates thought that the vice president was the thing that would push them over the hump or not, why would they not more often, and this almost never happens, to choose somebody who is one of the major competitors in the race, like an 2008 Obama chooses Hillary Clinton, like somebody like in this case, like Biden choosing somebody like Elizabeth Warren, right? Who was like one of the major competitors down the, or even Amy Klobuchar, who's one of the they almost never do that. They may choose somebody who was big in a previous race, but they almost never choose somebody, certainly not on the Democratic side. And it would seem to me like it would make sense if you already have a lot of voters who are excited about Elizabeth Warren. I understand some of your argument against Bernie Sanders, two very older candidates, but if you're very excited about, like, there's already a very active audience for Elizabeth Warren. why would you not choose her? Wouldn't you say that would surely activate the thousands of people who wanted to vote for her?
Right. But see, I think Biden choosing Elizabeth Warren does make sense to me, right? Because that does capture sort of the more progressive wing of the party. So he could either steal her ideas or he could go with her. You know, obviously some people would say, but then Black people will be angry. It's like, well, guess what? Where are they going to go? Home? Home is an option. And so that's a danger of choosing an Elizabeth Warren when you've already said that you would possibly choose a Black woman. I think the difference between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton is, one, unlike Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama's people did look at the data and say, choosing a woman actually doesn't really add any extra votes because white women don't vote for women. So Hillary Clinton thought that she'd get women voting for her, and she didn't. And also, if you look at their policy proposals, there was just a crack of daylight between the two of them. They're actually a lot more similar. Barack Obama's a centrist Democrat. Like, the only thing radical about Barack Obama is his skin tone and how he presents the ideas. But he wasn't the lefty progressive wing of the party by any stretch of the imagination. Right. Choosing someone like a Biden made more sense to him because Biden sort of represented this kind of American values that, you know, Barack Obama always spoke about. You know, this kind of, Biden was a proxy for this middle America that he's trying to like sort of talk about with Amy Klobuchar and Gretchen Whitmer now. Right? And so I think what's so interesting though is that Barack Obama understood the value of Hillary Clinton, even though, you know, she was an imperfect candidate in so many different ways. Some of those things are on her, some of those things are on her husband, and she was just penalized for them. But I think his making her Secretary of State was his overture to say, I will make you a better candidate next time around. I'm also putting you in a position where you're not allowed to fundraise or run for office in any capacity, so I don't have to worry about your folks trying to organize against me.
But why do we not?
Wait, I don't think that I really don't think though that Elizabeth Warren would be the best pick. I honestly think that I think that Elizabeth Warren and her policies and what she was offering Black people is a hell of a lot better than any of the other candidates had put together. All of her plans for HBCUs, for Black women's maternal health, all of that was fantastic. I just don't think that, I think right now we are playing a game of geography, and that, like, it's geography and voter turnout. And the only person, which is why I liked your article, but it literally had been the same thing that I've been saying for months, is why Stacey Abrams makes the most sense in all of those situations. She is young. She is a daughter and child of the South, and she has put together her entire voting apparatus.
And she's brilliant, and if she were a man, we wouldn't even ever have a question about her qualifications.
I love Stacey Abrams, but if you're going to lay it down to geography, then you would choose Whitmer from Michigan, because Michigan is one of the 4 key states that Joe Biden needs to win.
Yeah, but we need to look at her numbers of Detroit when she ran in the primary. It's like she doesn't inspire Black people in Detroit, so how's she going to inspire Black people across the country?
Yeah.
You know, I
feel like he can get those working. Joe Biden is that working guy.
Right, he's got Saginaw.
He's got that place already. It is about what he needs to expand beyond. That's why I don't even want to have the conversation about fucking Klobuchar. Aside from the fact that I find her as boring as milquetoast, like I don't think that he needs that, because he is that. He needs what he is not.
So here's the thing. Joe Biden has the outer ring suburbs and the rural part of the Democratic Party. He needs somebody who can get cities and the first ring of the suburbs. Whitmer doesn't do it, or whatever. Gretchen. Yeah. Amy Klobuchar definitely doesn't do it. You know, Elizabeth Warren sort of comes close. But here's the dirty little secret that we're not talking about. And you started off the very succinct question, Toure, which I think is brilliant in the sense that who do you want him to pick versus who should he pick versus who will he pick? Because I'm always trying to teach my students, just because you have a candidate that you want to win, look at the facts and sort of see who actually will win, right? Or who will be chosen. Sure. But I think that, you know, the hard conversation we're not having, because Black voters are so captured within the Democratic Party, all of our ideological diversity is kind of trapped in this one particular party. There has never been a time in American history that Black women have received anything before white women. And I think that even these good Democrats might have a problem with Joe Biden choosing a Black female running mate who could potentially be the vice president of the United States and possibly be the president of the United States before Hillary Clinton, before Elizabeth Warren, before what's her
Susan
name?
Rice?
No, I'm blinking on the woman from Geraldine Ferraro, 1984, Walter Mondale, right? I think that we haven't had that conversation about white women understood Barack Obama winning because that's patriarchy, right? And it's like, oh, okay, boys rallied around boys. And, he had those few comments in the debates like, oh, Hillary, you're likable enough. But like, we saw how male clubness works and worked for Obama in specific ways that, transcended race at times. I don't know how white female voters, the tenuous ones who are in the Democratic Party, I don't know how they will behave